In this video, we will discuss simplifying algebraic expressions. First, we have to discuss the couple different parts of an algebraic expression. The first part is a term. A term is defined as a number, a variable, or the product of a number and one or more variables. And terms are separated by plus and minus signs. In the example given below, the expression 4x squared minus 3y plus 7.3 has three terms. And the three terms are 4x squared, negative 3y, and 7.3. The next definition we have is coefficient. The coefficient is the numerical factor in a term. And in the example we have below, 4 is the coefficient of 4x squared, and negative 3 is the coefficient of negative 3y. The last term we have here is a constant. And a constant is a quantity whose value does not change. And what this is really saying is that a constant is a number. And in the example we have here, the constant is 7.3. The next definition we have is like terms. Like terms have the same variable raised to the same power. And you can simplify an algebraic expression by combining like terms. Now, in the example we have here, 3x squared and 5x squared are like terms because they both have that x squared term, and 9y cubed z and negative 4y cubed z are like terms because they both have y cubed z. If we were to rewrite this expression and write our like terms next to each other, we could say 3x squared plus 5x squared plus 9y cubed z minus 4y cubed z plus 2y z. Again, where we have 3x squared and 5x squared as like terms, and 9y cubed and z and 4y cubed z as like terms. Now, if we were to simplify, we can combine the 3x squared and 5x squared to become 8x squared. 9y cubed z minus 4y cubed z becomes 5y cubed z, and 2yz stays by itself. Now we have to go through a few properties that we can use to simplify algebraic expressions. As I go through each property, copy down the example on your note sheet. So definition of subtraction says that a minus b equals a plus negative b. And our example is x minus 2 equals x plus negative 2. The definition of division says that a divided by b equals a over b, which also equals a times 1 over b. So our example is that 2 divided by x equals 2 over x, which also equals 2 times 1 over x. The distributive property for subtraction says that a times parentheses b minus c, where a is distributed to the b and the c. So it becomes ab minus ac. So in our example of 2 times x minus 4, the 2 is distributed to both of our terms. So it becomes 2x minus 8. The multiplication by 0 property says that 0 times a equals 0. So if we did 0 times negative 2, it would equal 0. Multiplication by negative 1 says that negative 1 times a equals negative a. So negative 1 times 3 would equal negative 3. The opposite of a sum property says that negative times a plus b becomes negative a minus b. So if we had negative times x plus 2, it would equal negative x minus 2, because we're distributing that negative sign. If we had the opposite of a difference, it says negative times, in parentheses, a minus b equals negative a minus negative b, which becomes negative a plus b. So if we do this with an example, we can say negative x minus 2 equals negative x minus negative 2, which simplifies to become negative x plus 2. The opposite of a product says negative times, in parentheses, a times b equals negative a times b. So our example for this would be negative x times 2 equals negative x times 2, or negative 2x. And the last part is the opposite of an opposite. So a negative times negative a equals a. So a negative times negative 3 equals positive 3. Now, in order to simplify an expression, we have to identify our like terms. So in this example, we have 7x squared and negative 4x squared are like terms, and 3y squared and 2y squared are like terms. So we can rewrite our expression to say 7x squared minus 4x squared plus 3y squared plus 2y squared. And again, our like terms are our x squared goes together and our y squared terms are together. Now if we finish combining those like terms, 7x squared minus 4x squared becomes 3x squared, and 3y squared plus 2y squared becomes 5y squared. In the next example, we first have to use the distributive property. So we would distribute, in the first one, the negative to the 3k and the m, as well as the 2 to the k and the minus 4m. So if we were to rewrite this, we could say it would be negative 3k plus negative m for the first half, and then plus 2k minus 8m. Now we're going to combine our like terms. So we have negative 3k and 2k and negative m and negative 8m. So we can rewrite our expression with our like terms together. So we have negative 3k plus 2k and negative m and negative 8m. And if we finish simplifying, we would get negative 3k plus 2k gives us negative k, and negative m plus negative 8m gives us negative 9m. In this next example, we only have one pair of like terms. We have negative 4j squared and j squared. However, there's only one term with a k and one term with a j. Now, if we were to rewrite this, we could say negative 4j squared plus j squared minus 7k plus 5j. Now again, our like terms are those two j squared terms. However, one additional thing we have to consider here is, even though there isn't a coefficient in front of that first j squared term, what that's really indicating to us is that it's 1 j squared. Now if we were to combine our like terms, negative 4j squared plus j squared gives us negative 3j squared minus 7k plus 5j. In this last example, we first need to distribute the negative to the 8a and 3b, as well as the 10 to the 2a and negative 5b. If we were to simplify that, negative times 8a becomes negative 8a minus 3b, and if we distribute that, 10 times 2a becomes plus 20a, and 10 times negative 5b would give us minus 50b. Now from there, we're going to identify our like terms. So we have negative 8a as well as 20a. And we also have negative 3b as well as negative 50b. So if we were to rewrite our expression, we could say negative 8a plus 20a minus 3b minus 50b. Again, where our like terms are two terms with the a and our two terms with the b. And now if we take that final step to finish simplifying, negative 8a plus 20a gives us 12a, and negative 3b minus 50b gives us negative 53b.